send it back to its world. It's time to end it.
Swords of the Stars!
We must always point in the same direction.
Oh man. That's a tomato. It's time to switch gears and work on the phone illustration that I wanted to combine with this unboxing video as well. If you guys watched my last upload, then you would have seen a little preview of this illustration. I wanted to create something that was themed around my phone. So I figured, why not create this cool little graphic that maybe one day could be a print of a hand holding the Samsung S25 Plus. If you did see my last upload, then you know that I got a comment from a fellow artist on Threads talking about the possibilities of using this base to create other themed phone illustrations. For this particular one, I wanted to do something that aligned more towards the alternative side of fashion, kind of like gothy vibes. That's why I opted in for a chain link fence as the phone case. I wanted to give kind of like a frilly but not over the top sleeve. And of course, I have to add some accessories like jewelry, a nicely done manicure, and wanted to give a really cool, intricate cyber sigil hand tattoo. Since this illustration is relying mostly on the hand as the focal point and the phone, of course, my goal here was to include as much personality as I could of the owner of the phone. That would give you guys, the audience, an idea of what this person's into, what their aesthetic is like, what their fashion sense is like. So I think I did a good job at including a nice variety of details without hopefully taking away too much from the phone itself. With this being inspired by goth fashion, I had to add a cross somewhere to this, so I decided to create a little charm that would hang off of the bracelet or scrunchie. I don't fully know what it is, but maybe it could double as both. I did create an alternate version of this piece where the hand doesn't have the tattoo. But I have to say, I think including the tat just really adds that level of edge. And also because the hand is such a big part of this illustration, I think there's so much like empty space that just feels more complete with the tattoo. I was debating on which brush I wanted to use for this, but I think for the sake of potentially making this a print one day, which if I did, I'd have to tweak some things like the color profile because this is not set to print well for a physical piece, because I know you have to set it to like CYMK or something. It does not have that setting. But I figured since maybe this could be a print one day, it would work better with bold, crisp line art. So now that the line art is done, I'm going in and blocking out the colors. Phone case took a little bit of time for me to pick a color that I felt complemented the rest of this piece, but also wasn't too bright. I needed it to be a bit muted since there was a lot of black. It was a lot of fun working on the French manicure. What wasn't fun was figuring out how I wanted to render the cross charm, which I'll get to more later. After I block out my colors, I'm just going in and erasing any stray colors, just cleaning them up. I wanted to do some rendering for the rings and jewelry, just to give it a little bit of shine, and I actually had a lot of fun doing this part. Obviously adding those highlights to the ring. What was a struggle, however, is the chain bracelet. In my last upload, I talked about how I rendered it probably like 3 or 4 times. I had to kind of approach it differently than the jewelry. I used a completely different brush just to soften up the highlights and the shadows a bit more. But after some attempts, I finally got to a place where I was happy with it, and now I'm jumping over to the cross charm bracelet to apply some shadows. I also had to render this several times. I had to scrap my initial design of it because I felt like it was hard to add in shadows without it getting lost in all of the details of the line art. So yeah, the details definitely took the longest, but after I finished, I'm merging some layers together just to kind of minimize the amount that I'm working with, because I think I had about 150 for this. I'm adding in those pops of highlights for the chain link fence on the phone case and a little bit of color to the knuckles. And of course, what is rendering without some highlights? This piece was very fun. I absolutely loved the details of it, from the hand tats to the matte finish of the nail polish. It took me a while, but I'm pleased with the results. Here's the reveal, and you guys will get to see the illustration with and without the tattoo. I do hope you enjoyed the unboxing and art part of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Take care, y'all. Bye!